Hello everyone. Once again, welcome to PM Networking. Hope you all are doing great. Guys, today in this video, we are going to understand SNMP protocol, Simple Network Management Protocol. So first we will discuss why we need SNMP protocol in real time. Then we will discuss what is the deployment of SNMP, how to deploy SNMP in real-time network. Then we will discuss types of messages in SNMP like get message, set message, and trap message. Then SNMP uses which protocol like UDP or TCP. So it uses UDP protocol number, port number 161 and 162. So you have to understand the scenario when it will use port number 161 and 162, because sometimes interview is asking this question to engineers, like what in what scenario SNMP client will use port number 161 or 162, or SNMP manager will use port number 161 and 162. Then guys, we will understand the version 1, version 2, and version 3. What is the difference between version 1, version 2, and version 3? Nowadays we are using SNMP version 3, so you have to understand the logic why we are using version 3, because anyone can ask you what is the benefit of SNMP version 3. And then finally we will move to the configuration part, how to configure SNMP on Cisco routers and switches. So here you can see this is my scenario. In my scenario, this is my SNMP manager, or you can say SNMP server, right? So there are two roles of devices in SNMP: SNMP server, or you can say SNMP manager, and another other one is SNMP agent, or you can say SNMP client. Fine. So here you can see this is my SNMP server or SNMP manager, and this is SNMP client. So I'm not going to configure SNMP server over here, but because this is not in your syllabus as well. Like if you will check your ccna, ccnp, and cci syllabus even, right, you don't need to configure SNMP server. SNMP server is nothing but end machine, like it can be your computer, it can be your Windows servers with SNMP software. So to use a device as a SNMP manager or as a SNMP server, you only need to install SNMP software there, right? Then that device will become SNMP server, right? Or SNMP, you can say manager. Your task is configure SNMP client, or you can say SNMP agent, like your routers and switches. Fine guys. So without wasting our time, let's begin. Now first try to understand why we need SNMP. Why SNMP? So guys, let's understand, let's assume I am a network engineer in a company and I have 200 devices in my network. What I'm saying, I am a network engineer in a company and I have 200 devices in my network. I just want to check which IS version my routers are running, which IS version are running on the routers and you can say switches, right? So what option I have? First I have to access the devices, right? Again I have two options: console access or remote access, but definitely in real time you will have remote access. So let's say you have remote access and you have accessed the device, and then you will run command what, show version. Then you will run command show version, right? So you have to access 200 devices and you have to run this command on 200 devices. Getting my point, right? So first I have to access 200 devices and then I have to run this command, so version. Again, let's say I want to check IP address on a router, let's say on R10, right, which is on second floor. I want to check IP address on fast Ethernet 0/0 of router 10. So first I have to access router number 10, right? Then I will run command show IP interface fast Ethernet 0/0. It will show me the IP address on fast Ethernet 0/0. Let's say I want to check CPU utilization of device, CPU utilization of router number 20. Again, I have to access the device. I have to run command show processor CPU, right? So this is first way. First way is, first you have to access the device. You can access through console port or through remote access, and then you can run the command, whatever output you want. What is the second way? This is the first way, and you all know this method. What is the second way? The second way is protocol. Second way is protocol, and that protocol will give me information, right? Like I want to know the IS version of a device, right? So I will run a protocol and that protocol be responsible to provide me the highest version of devices. Getting my point? And that protocol is SNMP, Simple Network Management Protocol. Why we are saying simple network management? Because here you will get GUI access, right? So GUI is simple. That's why we are saying it is Simple Network Management Protocol. Fine. So through SNMP protocol, we can gather the information of devices, or we can configure the devices as well. Let's say we have 200 devices in my company and I want to create one access control list. So again, I have to first access the device and then I can configure access list there, right? But through SNMP, this is first option. Second option is SNMP. Through SNMP also you can configure IP address, host name, right? ACL on the devices with the help of one command. That is, in the SNMP messages, you are going to understand there is one set message. So simply on SNMP server, you will provide the target IP address of your device, and then you will send, set message, set host name R1, right? And your SNMP protocol will push that command to router, right, to SNMP client or SNMP agent, you can say. And then device will automatically configure IP address on interface, or they can change the host name. Getting my point? In the same way, we can configure ACL also, any configuration. So you already know the first way. First way is very simple. Manually, you can access the device and then you can configure the device, right? Or you can gather the information. The second way is protocol, and that protocol is called SNMP protocol. So hope not this part is clear to you, like why we need SNMP. Guys, because in SNMP we have a centralized device. From a centralized device or from a centralized location, I can configure the devices, I can gather the information, or I can manage the devices. Getting my point? Let's say I want to tell my device, let's say this is my router. I want to tell my router, brother, whenever your CPU utilization will reach to 80%, please send me a log message, right? Your device will send a log message to your SNMP server whenever CPU utilization of your device will reach to 80%, right? So these are the reason why we are using SNMP, guys, in real time. Fine. Now, to understand how SNMP works, first you have to understand the roles defined in SNMP deployment. Roles of devices in SNMP deployment. So as I told you, there are two types of roles in SNMP. First one is SNMP. Let me write here. First one is SNMP agent, or you can say client. SNMP is, few people are saying client, few are saying agent. And second one is SNMP manager. Or you can say what? SNMP server. Fine. So in this scenario, you can see in my topology, again, I have one SNMP client and I have one SNMP server. You can say this is SNMP manager, this is SNMP agent, right? Now guys, in SNMP we have three versions, right? Version 1, then we have version 2, and then we have version 3, right? Nowadays we are using version 3 because version 3 is secure, right? Soon we are going to understand this version, right, in detail, version 1, version 2, version 3. But for now, what I am saying, in version 1 we have some messages. In version 1 we have some messages like set message, or you can say first message is get message, then we have set message. I'm going to make you understand the meaning of each message, don't worry, right? Get message, set message, and then we have one trap message, right? In version 2, again we have three messages. Get message, set message, and inform message. Again, in version 3 also we have these three types of messages: get message, set message, and inform message. Then if you are thinking what is difference between version 1, version 2 and version 3, because there is one different difference in version 1 and version 2. That is, in version 1 we have trap message, in version 2 and 3 we have informed message, right? Then what is the difference between version 2 and version 3? Guys, version 3 is secure, version 2 is not secure, right? Communication will happen in plain text in version 1, sorry, in version 2, and here communication will happen in ciphertext in version 3. So we have authentication, we will discuss about that authentication also, right? Now try to understand these messages first. What is the use of get message, right? First let me give you one overview of these messages. After that, if it will required, I will discuss the details information as well about these messages. First message is get message. So guys, get message is used, it is used to retrieve information from SNMP agents, or you can say what, clients. Okay, SNMP get message is used to retrieve, or you can say gather, right, gather the information about SNMP client or SNMP agent. Fine, hope this is clear to you. Like, let me give you some example as well. Like, I can say what, get me host name, then I can say get me interface IP address, then what I can say, get me information about EIGRP protocol, get me information about OSPF protocol, get me CPU utilization, get me iOS version, right? So these are example of get message. So through get message we will retrieve the information from SNMP client to SNMP manager or SNMP server, right? So let's say in this scenario from the SNMP server, I want to know what iOS version is running on this router, right? So this is my SNMP agent, this is SNMP server or SNMP manager. So from SNMP manager I will send which message? I will send get message, right? And here we will say what, get me host name. Getting my point? So this is use of get message. Get message is used to retrieve the information of SNMP agent. Fine, hope this is clear. Now next message is set message. Let me write the a small definition of set message as well here. And one more thing about get message, always keep in mind, this is important point. Get message is always forwarded by manager. Get message always forwarded by SNMP manager. Guys, SNMP is an application layer protocol. It is an application layer protocol. It is an application layer protocol. Fine, means this protocol works at application layer. All messages of SNMP will be generated at which layer, guys? At application layer. Again, all the application layer protocol will use either TCP or UDP at transport layer. So it uses UDP port number 161 and 162, right? These are two basic points about SNMP protocols. So always keep in mind, it is an application layer protocol which uses UDP port number 161 and 162. And get message As I told you, get message is always forwarded by SNMP manager, and manager will always use port number 161, right? Manager will always use port number 161 for get message, Now hope this is clear to you. Get message is clear to you. Fine. Now let me move to set message. Next message is set message. So see guys, set message is used to apply configuration on agent, on SNMP agent. So what we can say, it is used to apply configuration, or we can say change on agents or clients. Getting my point? Like example, set host name, another information. Example, set interface IP, set banner. Getting my point? These are what example of set message. So if you want to configure anything on device, you will use which message? Set message. Again, set message will be forwarded by SNMP manager always, right? Manager will always forward this message, set message. So here in this scenario, let's say I want to configure host name on this agent device, right? On SNMP agent from SNMP manager, from SNMP server. So what I will do, from here I will send one set message, right? And set message is what? Set host name, let's say R1, right? So once this agent or client will receive the set message, it will set their host name R1, right, from the default host name. Getting my point? Fine. So hope now set message is also clear to you. Like this, you can assume multiple examples, right? Fine. Now next message is what? Trap message, and then we will discuss the inform message, right? So next message is trap message. First let me discuss about the trap message. Guys, trap message, it is used for condition. What I am saying? It is used for condition. And this message will be always forwarded by agent, right? Condition means what? Condition means, let's say I have configured my device in such a way so that my device will generate one log message whenever CPU utilization will reach to 80%, or when temperature will reach to 40 degrees Celsius. Let's say I have defined this condition on R1. Then whenever your temperature will reach to 40 degrees Celsius or your CPU utilization will reach to 80%, please generate a syslog message, right? So whenever temperature will reach to 40 degrees Celsius or CPU utilization will reach to 80%, it will give me one log message. It will generate one log message for SNMP manager, and it will send that log message with the help of what? Trap message. So again, in this scenario, let's say I have configured this router to generate a log message, syslog message, when CPU utilization will reach to 80% or when temperature will reach to 40 degrees Celsius, right? So if CPU utilization of this device will reach to 80%, it will generate a trap message. Or if temperature of this device will reach to 40 degrees Celsius, again it will generate one trap message, right? So trap message will be forwarded by SNMP client or SNMP agent, you can say, always, right? And guys, agent will send trap message on UDP port number 162, right? On port number 162. So now hope this is clear to you. Like when we are using port number 161 in SNMP, and when we are using port number 162 in SNMP. So port number 161 will be used by SNMP manager to send set message and get message. And port number 162 will be used by SNMP agent to send trap message. To send trap message, it is always forwarded by SNMP client or agents, right, on port number 162. On port number 162. Getting my point? So I have achieved any kind of condition through SNMP, like if chip utilization reaches to 80%, then generate a syslog message. If temperature is more than 40 degrees Celsius, then generate a syslog message. All the condition messages will be forwarded through port number 162. For management message, it uses port number what? 161, like set message and get message. Okay guys, so if someone will ask you what is get message in SNMP, so you can say this is one kind of read message, because through get message we are getting what? Only information. We can read it, we can check what iOS version is running, what IP address is running, right? What is the banner on router, what is the host name on router, right? So this is a kind of read message, right? Get message will be forwarded by SNMP server always or manager always. It is used to retrieve the information from client, right? So let's say in this scenario, if server is going to generate one set message or get message, what will be the information, guys? Right, this is set message at application layer. At application layer. Then at transport layer, what will be the information? Source port will be any random port number, and then destination port will be what? 161. After that, source IP will be the IP address of server SNMP manager, that is 192.168.1.2, and then destination IP will be what? The IP address of agent 192.168.1.1. Who will provide the IP address of agent? You will define the IP address of agent, means target IP address. Getting my point? Then after that there will be layer 2 header. Getting my point? So this is how your set message, get message look likes. Fine. So now hope this is clear to you, right? Fine. Then server will forward it to client, means agent. Fine. Again in the same way, set message will look like at application layer it will generate set message, right, to change the information on client or to apply the configuration on client, you can say. Getting my point? Okay, so now let me move further. Next is trap message. So see, let's say here I have defined one condition, that condition is if my CPU utilization is to 80%, then generate a log message, right? So if CPU utilization of this device will reach to 80%, this device will generate what? One trap message at application layer. In the trap message, again at layer 4 it will use UDP. Port number what? Source port number will be the random port number, destination port will be 162. Under the trap message, information bit will be what? My CPU is 80%, right? Then there will be UDP header, then there will be IP header, and then there will be Ethernet header. Like this it will work, right? Now guys, you know, trap message is not reliable message. Let's say this agent machine agent device have sent this trap message to SNMP server, right? But because of congestion on the link, let's say server have not received this trap message, right? So there is no any acknowledgement. So client machine will never get to know that server have received this message or not. Server have received this message or not. So that's why we come up with SNMP version 2. This is all about SNMP version 1. So now hope SNMP version 1 is clear to you. In version 1 we have 3 messages: set message, get message and trap message. And problem is trap message is not a reliable message. So if CPU utilization of device will reach to 80%, it will generate a trap message for manager. But if manager will not receive it, right, client will never get to know about it, that my server have received this information or not. So that's why we introduce SNMP version 2. In SNMP version 2 we have which message, guys? Inform message, right? See here, in SNMP version 2 we have this message, inform message, right? So what is inform message? Inform message is nothing but trap message plus acknowledgement. Trap message plus acknowledgement. Inform message is equal to trap message plus acknowledgement. Getting my point, right? So now in the version 2 what will happen? In version 2 my router, my agent will not generate trap message. If CPU utilization will reach to 80%, it will generate what? Inform message. In version 2 inform message, it's saying my CPU is 80%, then it will forward to server. And as inform message is reliable, right, when server will receive inform message, it will send what? Acknowledgement. So this is the difference between version 1 and version 2. In version 2 we introduce the new message, that is inform message. And inform message is nothing but trap message plus acknowledgement. Means SNMP server or SNMP manager will give acknowledgement to client after receiving trap message. So that's why we come up with SNMP version 2. Again in SNMP version 2 we introduce a new command. We introduce a new command. That command is this: get bulk. Like in version 1 you have, or in version 2 you have what message? Get message, right? Through get message what information you can gather? You can gather information of IS version or IP address on interface, right? Host name. This is not detailed information. But in version 2 we have a new message, that is get bulk. So you can run this command in version 2, get bulk, to gather the detailed information. Like in version 1 you have this message, get message, and you have said you are sending get message to get the IP address, interface IP. So client will send you the IP address on the interface. But in version 2 you have what message? Get bulk. So if you will set get bulk, right, and then interface IP, definitely it will give you the IP address of interface. Apart from it, it will share more information, detailed information like MTU, speed, bandwidth, subnet mask, the many more informations, right? So guys, the difference between get message and bulk message is what? Get message will give you particular information and get bulk message will give you the detailed information, right? Get bulk will give you detailed information like IP address, the MAC address of interface, MTU, CRC packet, right, and many more information, right? But version 1 and version 2 are not secure, right? Because in version 1 and version 2 your packet will travel in plain text. So that's why we introduced version 3. We come up with SNMP version 3, right? And SNMP version 3 is secure, right? Version 3 supports all messages of version 1, all messages of version 2. Guys, I'm telling you very carefully. This is very important. What I'm saying, version 3 support all messages of version 1, means set message, get message, and trap message, as well as it support all message of version 2, means get message, set message, inform message, right? And version 3 is also secure. Actually, version 3 provide three types of security. Version 3 version 3 provides three types of security. Let me discuss all one by one. First one is auth. Second one is priv. And third one is no auth, no priv. So if you don't want to configure authentication in version 3, again you have option. But if you want to configure authentication security, so you have option, right? Auth means authentication. Auth means authentication, right? Like here we will define the key. We can define key. Priv means what? Priv means guys privacy. Privacy means encryption. Privacy is nothing but encryption. Privacy is nothing but encryption. Privacy. Privacy means encryption. Fine. Now, again, as you know, priv is not only encryption, but priv means authentication plus privacy. Authentication plus privacy. Authentication plus privacy. Getting my point? So you can see here authentication, authentication plus privacy means encryption. Getting my point? So these are actually modes in version 3. If you are using auth mode, means it will provide you authentication. So here you can configure what key. You can configure what key, right? If you are using priv mode, means it will provide you authentication plus privacy means encryption. Authentication as well as encryption. So here you have to define authentication and encryption key, right? Again, we have multiple like algorithm for encryption, right? So we can use anyone like DS, 3DS, ES, fine. And no auth, no priv means SNMP version 1 and version 2, right? Again, no security. So in SNMP version 3, you have to define mode. If you are running SNMP version 3, you have to define mode. And your mode can be auth, priv, and no auth, no priv. While configuration, I will show you this. Don't worry. So if you want to understand SNMP configuration, first you have to understand SNMP deployment. So now guys, try to understand the SNMP deployment. So till now in version 3, what we discussed? We discussed SNMP version 3 provides three types of security: auth, priv, and no auth, no priv. No auth, no priv means no security like version 1 and version 2. Priv means privacy. It is like authentication plus encryption. And auth mode means only authentication. You can define the key for the authentication. It will use that key to encrypt your data. That's it. Getting my point? It will use that key to encrypt your data. Okay. Now, the very important thing too, let me write here. To deploy SNMP, you have to categorized your categorize categorized your devices in term of group, right? To deploy SNMP in your network, you have to categorize your devices in term of group. Very important for SNMP deployment, right? To deploy SNMP, you have to categorize your devices in term of group, right? Let's understand with one example. Let's say in my company there are some routers, there are some switches, and there are some, let's say, any other device, like let's say firewall, right? So I have some firewall as well here. These are, let's say, my firewall. Getting my point, guys? So to deploy SNMP over here, first of all, what I need to do, I need to categorize my devices in terms of group. How? I can categorize all routers in a single group. I can categorize all router in a single group. Let's say I have categorized these all devices in a group, and the group name for these devices is, let's say, group router. Group router. This is name of my router, is name of my group for these devices. In the same way, for switches, for these devices, I have a group. I have created one group, and name of this group is, let's say, what? Group switch. Group switch. And for firewalls, I have categorized these devices in a group, and that group is known as, let's say, firewall group firewall, right? So in the same way, in real time, to deploy SNMP, first you have to categorize your devices in terms of group. So you can see now in my company I have three group router, group switch, and group firewall. Now I can deploy SNMP over here. Now for each group we will create a username and password for authentication to authenticate the user. For each group, like for router group, I will create one username and password to authenticate the user. For group switch, I will create one username and password to authenticate the user, right? In the same way, for firewall also, I will create one username and password to authenticate the user. Fine, guys. This is like, let's say this is my scenario. In my scenario, you will never want that anyone who is connected in the network can get information of your SNMP, of your device or of your router. Let's say here I am an employee of your company, right? So if I will install SNMP software over here, and if I will send what, get message, get me version, so your client machine can send me the information of iOS version to me as well, right? So first of all, you have to authenticate the user that I am sending information to genuine SNMP server or not. Getting my point? So that is the reason why we come up with SNMP version 3. And nowadays, guys, we are using SNMP version 3 only. Fine. Now let's move further. See the configuration. Last part is the configuration part. How to configure SNMP in the network. Configurations. First of all, you have to create step 1. Create access control list. Access access list, right? What is the use of access list over here? So ACL or access list is used to define the location of SNMP server, right? So we will create access control list to define the location of SNMP server. Who is your SNMP server? Where is your SNMP server? In your own network, or it is in different network? Getting my point? So here we are using access control list for classification of SNMP, right? To classify the SNMP server, or you can say to define the location of SNMP server. Getting my point? So how I will create ACL? Maybe I can run this command: IP access list standard number 10, and then simply I can say permit and IP address of my SNMP server. What is the IP address of my SNMP server over here? 192.168.1.2, right? 192.168.1.2. Let me do one thing. Let me put this diagram as well here. See. Right? So on the client, on SNMP agent or client, I have first configured one access control list. Here I have defined the location of my SNMP server. After that, exit from here. The next step. Till now, we define the location of SNMP server. Now guys, you will run next command. Next command is SNMP server, SNMP server, and then group. Then you have to define group. So you have categorized your routers in a group, and group name is router. So let me say router here. Group name is what? Router. And for this group, we will create one username and password. Getting my point? So next command will be to create username and password, right? First of all, SNMP server, then group, and then group name. After that, which version of SNMP you want to use? Let's say version 3. So I will define version 3. And then which mode, right? Again, here you have 3 options: Priv, Auth, and nopriv, noauth, right? So let me use any one, right? Let me say what mode is, what we can say, let's say Priv, right? And then we will call to access list, access 10. Then we will call to access list. So in this command guys, what is the name of group? Name of group is router. Getting my point? What version I am using here? Name of group is router. What version? 3. Version 3. Then what mode I am using? Priv. Priv means privacy plus authentication, encryption plus authentication. And then access control list. Location is of SNMP is what? ACL 10. So this is my configuration. Getting my point? So you need to run this command over here. Next command will be this one. Fine. And hope this command is now clear to you. Then what is the next command? The last command. Last command is this one. Last command is again SNMP. All command will start with SNMP server. After that, user. So as I told you, for each group we will create a username and password. Let's say username is what? PM. Then group name. For which group you have created this username? So group name is router. And then what version you are using? Version 3, right? And then what authentication algorithm you want to use? Let's say MD5. And then what key you will use to encrypt the data? Let's say Cisco. And then what encryption algorithm you are using? Let's say 3DS or DS. Anyone you can choose, 3DS or DS. And then what key you will use to encrypt the data? So let's say what? Cisco. Getting my point? So guys, in this command, this is last command. In this command, what are the information? If I will talk about the information like username, what is the username for group router? That is PM, right? Then what authentication key I am using over here? Cisco, right? Then what DS algorithm I am using over here? Data encryption standard, Cisco, right? And after that there is one verification command that is again very important. So you can run this command. So SNMP user, and there are many more commands I will show you while configuration. So hope configuration is clear to you, right? So this is all about the theory part. In theory part, guys, we discuss messages like set message are used to apply configuration like set IP, set VTP domain name on switch, set host name, set banner, set IP address, right? And manager will always use this message and it will send on port number 161. Then we have get message to gather the information and again get message will be sent by SNMP manager always. Then we have trap message, right, for the condition, and trap message will be forwarded by client to server on port number 162, right? Generate a trap message whenever a VLAN is created or deleted on switch. So these are what conditions. So whenever someone will create a VLAN, it will generate a trap message. Whenever someone will delete the VLAN, your device will generate a trap message, right? So now here let me show you the configuration. Same configuration I am going to show you over here on SNMP agent machine. So go to config mode. First of all you need to create what? Access list. So let's say IP access list standard number 10, and I am going to say permit 192.168.1.2, right? 0.0.0.0. Fine. Then exit. This is for defining the location of your SNMP server. After that, SNMP server and group. Group name, let's say group name is router, right? Then guys, version. If you will put question mark, you can see you have 3 options: version 1, version 2, version 3. Before this, if you will put question mark over here, you can see it's asking for the group name. Before it, if you will put question mark, you have multiple options, right? So we can't discuss, these all over here in a single video, right? But the important part I am discussing over here, like SNMP server group and then group name, let's say router, and then we will define the version, let's say version 3. Yes, version 3. After that, mode. So see, you have 3 mode: auth mode, no auth mode. This is no auth, no priv, and this is priv mode. Group using SNMP version 3 auth priv security label. Auth means group using auth no priv security label, right? Only authentication, no privacy, no encryption. So let's say I want to use what? Priv mode. I want authentication as well as privacy means encryption. So I will use which mode? Priv mode. And then I will call to my access control list, access list number 10, right? This is command, right guys? So here the name of group is router, version is 3, mode is priv, and the device location is access list number 10. The next command again SNMP server. After that username. Username is what? PM. For which group? For which group? Here you need to define the username. So username is PM, and then for which group you are creating username. So let's say for router. For which group? For router. Then what version you are using? Version 3. Then see, authentication, encryption, right? So same command, this command you are running here, right? So let's say authentication algorithm is what? MD5. And if you will put question mark here, for authentication you can see two algorithms here, MD5 and SA. So you can use any one. I'm using MD5 over here. Then for encryption, right? Now first of all you have to define the key over here, right? What key it will use to encrypt the data by using MD5 algorithm, that is Cisco. What key it will use to encrypt the data by using MD5 algorithm, that is Cisco. So actually what will happen, it will generate one hash value by creating, with the help of this key, with the help of Cisco. It will generate one hash value with the help of key Cisco. And on the server, whenever you will set message or get message or any message, you have to provide these all information like key, target IP address, right? Then only you can get information or you can apply the configuration, right, on the devices. So if you don't know how to configure it, right, I have already one video guys on SNMP where I have performed the practical in packet tracer. So if you want to watch that video, let me show you, right? In that video actually you will get the SNMP server configuration. You will get SNMP server configuration, SNMP PM networking. So this is the video, I'm talking about this video. So see, in this video we have configured the SNMP server in packet tracer, right? So you can see the title, you can search it if you want to know how to configure SNMP server. Here we are just configuring SNMP client device, and this is only important for you as a network engineer, right? So guys, authentication algorithm is MD5 and key is Cisco. Now I am going to define what encryption means, Priv, right? And if you will put question mark here, you can see you have only this option or access. So you can call to access control list here, right? So let me say Priv, and then what encryption algorithm you want to use, DS, 3DS, AES. So let's put question mark over here. You can see we have three options, right? AES, advanced encryption standard, data encryption standard, and thrice or triple DS. Right? Both are same. It will run DS algorithm once, and this algorithm 3DS will run same algorithm thrice. Right? So let me use what? DS over here. Right? And then what key you will use for encryption? Let's say Cisco. This is the configuration of SNMP guys, version 3. Right? So now you can see the log message as well, right? Fab2, this is the date and time. Then configuring SNMP version 3, user, leave this message. This is not important for you now, right? Again, this is important, but not for now. Now what command I can run here? So SNMP, sorry. So SNMP, and you have multiple options, like if you want to check users. So you can see you have only one user, username is PM, right? Again, there is concept of engine ID guys in SNMP. You have to learn it. You can check book or you can Google it, right? If you want to learn all about SNMP, definitely you have to enroll for paid course, right? Because in 1 hour or 2 hours we cannot cover entire things of SNMP, right? But guys, these are important and these topics are in your syllabus, right? So I have covered all topics which is in your syllabus, right? So you can see here, leave this engine ID for now, right? See authentication, protocol that I am using is MD5. Encryption algorithm or protocol that I am using is DS, and my group name is router. Then is there another command? Not here. Here what we can do, you can put the username as well. Like let's say if you have multiple users, so you can find the configuration with the help of username also. After that, group, host, we can say what, location. Okay, so it's not showing sessions, so we don't have any session till now. Okay, leave it for now. Okay, so SNMP, what we can say, status ODI. You know what is ODI? Again, ODI is very important, object identifier. You know, on router or on your switches, every features on the devices have ODI. All the features are, sorry guys, in the simple word, what you can say, every features on the devices is identified by ODI, right? Let's say you have a feature EIGRP, OSPF, BGP, right, that you can run on routers. So that those features will be identified by ODI, right? So let's say if this router will get one get message from SNMP manager, right, and in that get message information is get me the IP address of interface, right? So for the IP address, device will have one ODI. Through that we will identify the services features, right? Object identifier. So my device, my client or agent, your router switches will send that get message to your ODI, right? To which ODI? To the ODI associated with interface. Or if you are getting message for host name, so again for host name is also one feature. For host name we will have one ODI, object identifier. Through that only we are identifying the features. So whenever a SNMP client machine or agent machine will receive set message, get message, it will forward to ODI, object identifier, right? And for each features we have one ODI on devices. So guys, this is all about SNMP protocol, right, for this video. Now last request is, if you have learned something from this video guys, please hit on like button. If you have not subscribed the channel, please subscribe this channel. And if you have any request for any topics, any other topics, if you want a video, please let me know in the comment section. Definitely I will not make detailed video, but I will try to cover all important topics, right, which is important like for interview or for your exam perspective, right? So here today in this video I have covered, you know, all important topics of SNMP protocol. Okay guys, so that's all for today, right? Thanks for watching. Bye bye. We will meet soon in next video. Till then, stay safe. Bye bye guys.